Three dimensions. Volume, unit to the power 3. As humans, we exist in at least a three-dimensional world. That is, the first three dimensions are commonly discussed as the horizontal dimension represented by the x-axis, the vertical dimension represented by the y-axis, and the depth dimension represented by the z-axis. Any number of individual names may be used to describe these three dimensions and might be used interchangeably, including but not limited to length, distance, width, height, and depth. In math, we discuss, measure, and calculate in these three dimensions, both individually and collectively. In other words, we work exclusively in one dimension, which we call length or distance. We work in two dimensions, which we call area, and in three dimensions, which we call volume. We use base units to represent these dimensions like feet, inches, miles, centimeters, etc. These units take on different powers depending on whether we are working in one dimension, two dimensions, or three dimensions. For one dimension, like length or distance, we use units raised to the power 1, parentheses, units caret 1, and parentheses. For area, we use units to the power 2, parentheses, units caret 2, and parentheses. And for volume, we use units to the power 3, parentheses, units caret 3, and parentheses. Parentheses. Note that for length or distance with units to the power 1, we typically do not speak or write a number or variable or unit to the power 1, in the spirit of the three invisible ones notation rule. The three invisible ones rule is that every number, variable, and unit has three invisible ones, as in 1 times x to the power 1, all divided by 1, is simply written and spoken as x. It is commonly accepted notation to not show the invisible ones, as we all know they are there, and parentheses. Distance is called length. Area is called, quote, squared, end quote, and volume is called, quote, cubed, end quote. The calculations used support these units in the following way. To calculate length, we may add unit to the power 1 plus unit to the power 1 to find a distance. For area, we multiply two dimensions, as in horizontal times vertical, which results in unit times unit, or unit squared. For volume, we multiply three dimensions, as in horizontal times vertical times depth, or unit times unit times unit, or unit caret 3. Three dimensions is horizontal times vertical times depth, or unit times unit times unit, or unit caret 3, or cubic units. Antonyms: one dimension, three dimensions. Related words: units, dimensions, powers, adding powers, multiplying powers, the three invisible ones rule.